Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable right here on Star Nation's organization's main fan page on Facebook, where I do about 99.9% of my live streams from. Welcome, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, and it is so good to have you here with me. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. Gosh, don't we have so much going on? It's like where to start. There's so much happening. Okay, so today's live stream on the Spiritual Roundtable. Let me tell you about that first, okay? And that is all about the card draw that I do on Wednesday mornings for the energy that's flowing this week for us. And I kind of changed things up a bit for this month. The intention is all about joy and remembering our joy, remembering because it's in our blood and our bones, right? And so the card draw is about spirit sharing with us what's important about the energy that's flowing this week in regard to our soul growth and joy. And so that is what we're going to be having a spiritual conversation about. So stick with me and we're going to have some deep conversation. Now, before we actually get started, because I don't do it like right away, I forget. And so what I need to do is send the live stream over to my newsfeed for number one, because I promised my friends that I'd remind them. So hang on just a second, and I'm going to send it over to my news feed. Okay. And just letting them know that I'm live streaming. And inviting them. There we go. We'll do that one. Hey, one of my sisters is in the house. Hello, Christine. And you know what? I'm going to invite you all to do the same thing. Okay. If you know of somebody who really, really enjoys having spiritual conversations, send them over the link and they can join us, right? If you know of somebody who is really, been talking about either the lack of joy or wanting their joy back, or, grabbing onto the joy where they can, send them the link too, because we're going to be talking about that. Okay. All right. And I need to send it over to the peeps in the closed groups. And there we go. Spelling counts. And so I got to make sure we send it to the right groups. There's the live stream show, there's the academy, and the magazine. Good one. And then I also promised some friends that I would remind them when I am live streaming so that they can join. So, and with everybody going back to work, it's kind of hard to remember who's who in the zoo. So I know Violet's asked me to give her a shout out. And I think I got them. I think I got everybody. Okay, there we go. And if I forgot you, I'm sorry. So sorry about that. All right. So should we see who's in the house? Because if you can make a comment, just let me know. Just say hi, and that way I can see you in the studio. Otherwise, I'll have to use my phone and then do a shout out that way. Okay, gonna roll up my sleeves. How many people have had their AC on? We have yesterday, because with Mom in the house, we have to kind of keep the temperature kind of pretty much the same throughout the year. And so it's nice and comfy upstairs, and I come down to my office, and it's cold. And it's cold. Hey, Janet's here. Hello, Janet. Good to have you here, lady. Good to have you here. And And so I'm taking a look at my phone. So, hey, Christine, one of my sisters is in the house. Cindy's also here. And Kat's with us too. Hey, Kat, it's been a while. It's good to see you in the house. So, we have 3 cards today. So, it's going to take us the full time to get through them. But I also wanted to share with you a little something ahead of time, and that is, now many of you know that we had very strong thunderstorms here, severe thunderstorms here yesterday evening, so much so that I thought we lost electricity and our internet. And when did that happen? About 5 minutes before I was supposed to start my evening live stream show, Communications from Home. Right. And Orchard Franklin was my guest. And so anyway, we kind of rescheduled, or we'll be on tonight. And so I'll tell you more about that at the end of the show. When we get through all the cards. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that you guys all knew that everything is fine. We lost 2 trees, one that kind of came across the Georgie's fenced-in area in the back of the house. I don't know how much damage is done to the fence yet, because the neighbor guys are going to come over tonight and help Paul kind of take it off the fence and get it cut up. And then we also lost another tree that is just east of the academy, not near the academy, but down into the woods between the house and the academy. I haven't been up there yet, so I don't know how big of a tree. So I plan on taking some tobacco out there after this show. Yeah. But yeah, we had our electricity back. I think it was 9 or 9:30 last night. So that meant that I had the evening off. I couldn't work on anything on my computer because 90% of my documents are in the cloud. And so Paul and I just sat and chatted and listened to some music from his phone, and because my phone battery was almost dead. And so anyway, we're good. We're fine. We made it through. Yeah. Yeah. And Cindy's saying Fairgrounds lost its main roof. Yeah, I know. We were sent pictures of it. And I think that is that the building where they have the ice rink? I think it is. And so they'll be getting a new roof. We actually know some people. That's on the south side of town. It's not like Toma's huge. It's not. And so south side of the town is maybe 5-minute drive from here. We live on the far north side. And yeah, we know some people who live on that side of town, and they lost the roof. They didn't say it was a tornado. It was straight line winds. Does that mean it was a tornado and it just didn't touch down? I don't know. But it was, yeah. We're okay, though. Nobody got hurt, so that's all good. Let's move on to the cards, okay? All right. We're using this deck today. I thought we had moved on to using Kyle Gray's deck, and when I went to do the card draw this morning, my team basically said, we need the other deck. Okay. So we'll get this one back out. Sacred Spirit Reading Cards by Anna Stark. Yeah. I like this deck too. I do. So we have 3 cards today. Now, the intention for the card draw was about showing us the information that's flowing this week for our soul growth around joy. Okay. Around joy. And this is the first card that came. Secret Temptation. Being led astray. We've had all 3 cards before. I'm going to do something. I'm going to take the overlay off so that it doesn't interfere with the cards. Hang on. It's just going to take me a sec. There we go. There we go. A little bit easier for you guys to see. Secret Temptation. Being led astray. Now, when we've had this card before, we were saying how much was going on up in the head region, right? All that bright yellow, gold yellow up in the brain, and looking like it's dripping off. the face, with the two birds on either shoulder. And if you notice, the two birds, one is looking basically right at us, and the other one is looking more towards left, right? So keeping an eye out, right? Keeping an eye out. And you know, the person's eyes are pretty focused, aren't they? Intent. Notice around the ears. Around the ears, we've got some light going around the rim of the ears. To me, that's about clairaudience, listening with our thin ears, not just our physical ears, right? Secret temptation. Yeah. A lot of brain activity, huh? A lot of brain activity. The other message that comes with this is about accept your choices. Accept your choices. And so when we're talking about secret temptations, you know, we're talking about you know, things that tempt us to do something against our better judgment, right? When we were younger, some of those temptations maybe was to cut class, right? Go hang out on the beach, especially for senior day. Do you remember that? And I know a lot of the 2020 graduates, you know, they haven't been in school, and so their graduations have been kind of majorly different than the rest of us. But you know, those temptations, right? And as we got older, moving on into adulthood, our temptations shifted and changed, right? You know, sometimes it went through drugs and alcohol, you know, kind of those addiction kind of things. And as we become more aware and awake, perhaps we're leaving those kind of vibrations behind, letting them go, releasing them. Because we're two-legged, we're human, right? That many times what we do is we end up having different kind of temptations, different kinds of addictions. Um, and sometimes that ends up in books, stones and crystals, oils, you know, it ends up with shoes and jackets, right? Drums, those kinds of things. Those are the temptations. Those that don't necessarily have to be negative temptations. It's when they get out of balance. That's my 2 cents. When they get out of balance is when they become a negative temptation, right? For some people, it might be food. It might be food. Maybe it might be sugars, chocolate, you know, those kinds of things. A little bit's not going to hurt you, but if you take it too far past your limit, then it becomes something else, right? Yeah. Hey, Mary's in the house too. Hello, Mary. Good to have you here, lady. I've always liked your profile, the cherub, the cherub. So, temptation, right? Secret temptation. In other words, it's something that we're tempted by that we don't share, right? Something that is um, out of balance, out of balance. Because if it was in balance, we wouldn't care. Who knows, right? We wouldn't care. But when it's a secret, you know, either we don't let anyone know or only just a few people, the few people that we are our inner circle kind of people, right? Yeah. Secret temptation. Accept your choices being led astray. And here's the other thing about this card before we get into what the author has to say. With the number of eyes that are on this card, because even if you look up into the head area, you may see other eyes as well, right? Other ways of bringing in information: the third eye, the ears, right? Do you see the waves going across his cheekbones underneath his eyes? It's almost like there's light language going on as well. So taking in as much information as you possibly can, right? In many different ways. So here's what the author has to say about this, okay? So let's take it in and see what it tells us. She says temptations can be everywhere, dependent upon your vices, and unfortunately, there will always be a temptation to human psyche. We can learn from these vices as they teach us about our emotional triggers prior to our actions. It's about self-mastery. It's about self-mastery. So really to be aware of what triggers you and why. When it comes to, you know, um, one of your vices, right? Whether it's alcohol, salt, sugar, cigarettes, tobacco use, that kind of use, is that what's going on just prior to you making the decision, the choice, and taking in something that may be out of balance for you. I think that's what this card is all about, is that when I read the key is mastery, right? Is that we're being put in positions to really be aware of what our choices are, when we make them, what's happening during the time we're making them, right? That if we know that something's triggering us, then in order to really understand that trigger is to what happened around the trigger, what kind of emotions or feelings were happening while you were just initially feeling the trigger, right? Because that kind of information can help you. It can lead you into the direction of what needs to be healed, what needs to be taken a look at closer, what needs to be released, right? What parts of you needs more loving and nurturing. So it's to really be aware, because our vices can tell us a whole lot about ourselves, both inside and outside, right? And I think it also has a degree of truthfulness to it. Being truthful with ourselves. Doesn't matter if anybody else knows about it, but what are we showing to ourselves, right? Yeah, that's what I think anyway. Cindy said, hiding my 5D knowing from my family. Um, well, it depends. See, it's anything that's out of balance, and that out of balance piece could be harmful to you. I don't think 5D is going to be harmful to you. Now, the reason why you're hiding it from your family, go a little bit ahead of that, right? Will tell you a lot more, I think. Cindy is saying, I have stopped myself from buying more crystals. Wait till you see her crystals. One of these days, Cindy, I'm going to come over and we're going to do a live stream from your house and we'll show off your crystals. Hey, Pat, good to have you here. Good to have you here. So this is the first card, Secret Temptation. The author goes on to say, a lack of willpower may influence your impulses. Be strict with your budgets as financial blowouts are significant now. So it's a flow of energy. I'm going to stop here just for a second for two things. One, I just heard the garage door come open. That means Paul's home with George. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing the live stream from the house, is because George had to come home from daycare a little bit earlier today because we have lots of mom stuff going on. Paul's taking care of some things for his mom, so he had to come home from work early. And my mom is feeling the emotional stuff around George Floyd. And so I've been kind of hanging close to her, and so doing the show from my office rather than the academy. And so it may or it may not get a little noisy in just a moment when George comes in. Okay. All right. So this thing about watching the financial stuff, all right, because sometimes with our vices, those temptations, they can lead to us spending a lot more money than we intend, right? But let's look at that just a little bit bigger. It's all about the flow of energy because our money is a representation of our personal energy. So if you are spending more money for things that are out of balance for you, that's also telling you a lot about how you are placing your energy, right? That energy allocation. And so in the physical world, it's telling us something to us individually about how we are treating our personal energy. Does that make sense? So our temptations can be really helpful to us to help us understand where we need to focus our energy, focus our intentions, focus our healing, right? So a secret temptation isn't necessarily totally low vibration, totally, a bad thing, right? It depends on how you take it in and how big the energy field you want to take a look at, or how deep you want to take a look at. Yeah. So it could be a very good thing because what we're doing is we're looking to release, heal those aspects of ourselves that could be blocks to raising our vibration, right? Or holding the higher vibration for longer periods of time. What is that called? It's called soul growth. It's called ascension, right? It's called loving ourselves. Yeah. All right. So here's what else she has to say. She says, right now, the truth is yet to be revealed. Be cautious in lending any goods you wish to have returned. Be mindful of any agreements or contracts at this time and seek professional advice where appropriate. Addictions such as gambling, drugs, sex, alcoholism, and even food are indicated through this card. Being tempted by devilish behavior is leading you down a bad path. This health card encourages you to regain control of your life, building willpower and determination using a step-by-step approach for support and encouragement. Okay. For me, that was saying self-discipline, you know, is that doesn't mean that we can't go out and have fun and to be relaxed, right? But when it comes to our soul growth and things that are impeding us, that sometimes what we need to do is some self-discipline, because a lot of times, those temptations, those addictions are really masking our our feelings, our emotions, right? Yeah. And that's not helpful in the long run. In the big picture, that's not helpful. In the short term, in the medium term picture, our temptations, our vices, our addictions, they can certainly show us where our healing needs to be placed, right? And so it can actually be seen and taken in as a positive, not necessarily a negative. It's only a negative if you're unwilling to look at it, unwilling to sense it, unwilling to see it, sense it, feel it, right? And one of the things that we learned not too long ago when we were talking about resilience is that when we sit in the emotion or the feeling long enough to recognize what it really is to us, it helps to build the resilience. Right? When we run away from it, when we hide from it, that doesn't build the resilience. It only builds anxiety, depression, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. And she goes on to say that if you are experiencing challenges with your personal habits at the moment, now is the time to develop structured and systematic coping strategies that you can learn when you're tempted to be led astray. However, you are a conscious creator, so be accountable for your past and current choices and seek to change them in the present and in the future. All is not lost, but you must act if you wish to improve your circumstances. Continuing to ignore the problem will only make the situation worse. Professional assistance is required now. Seek a suitable healthcare practitioner associated with your specific challenge if needed. So, in other words, reach out for help, right? Reach out for help. So, when I was reading the information, when I was looking at the picture and taking in the what spirit was showing us through this card, one of the things that came to me was that, and I've shared this with you guys before, is that back in 2012, December of 2012, actually it was the gateway, 12/12, right? Of 2018. It was all about getting prepared. It was all about connecting to Grandmother Earth. It was all about being grounded. And that's when we started talking about grounding, grounding, grounding. In fact, Rochelle, when she would come into the chat room and she'd say, "Hello, Neshi," and she said, "Grounded today." And so she was helping to remind everybody to do their grounding, right? That was back in 2018. Fast forward for 2019, and we were talking about love and remembering the frequency of love and how to hold it. We remember how to hold that frequency, right? And then we come to 2020. And what happened? There was a whole world global situation that those of us who do a lot of live streaming have come to find out that even if we say the word, that V word, or that C word, that yeah, it doesn't, or we drop in the number of people who can actually watch the video. So you guys know what I'm talking about. So that came about, and a whole bunch of us worldwide, we were at home in place, right? Which led to a lot of internal work. Noticing things about our life that, because we're so busy and we didn't slow down ever to really take in, right? So we had that opportunity, right? And what did we start talking about here? I wanted to be helpful in some way. And so I was doing those morning meditations, right? Instead of saying, "You guys get grounded," I said, "Let's do it. Let's get it done." And we did it together for 7 weeks. And now we have 7 weeks worth of meditations here at Star Nations that if you need assistance, you can go out there and listen to one of the past live streams, right? That's what this card is telling us about. Yeah. Now is the time to make that decision for yourself, right? So that when you're grounded, centered, and protected, you can take in information and ask for clarity because you get help from your spiritual team, right? So that when those temptations come up, when they come up, that's telling you something. That's telling you that you're ready. You're ready to really take a look at the triggers, the things that actually cause the trigger, right? What you want to focus on. Where do you want to send your energy so that you can take care of your own vibration? Minding your own vibration, healing what needs to be healed, releasing what needs to be healed, released, right? It's a good thing. It really is. So that we can remove those blocks and obstacles that are impeding us from holding that love vibration, remembering what it feels like to have unconditional love, to be unconditional love, which leads to joy, right? Yeah. Pat's asking, how can we access past live streams? I'll put the link in, but I can tell you right now is that on the main fan page for Star Nations, where we're live streaming from right now, and when you're on your laptop, if you look in the left-hand side, you see the different words, the different buttons on the left-hand side, right? Look for the word videos. Click on the word video, and you'll be taken to the next page, next screen. And there are listed all the videos that we've ever done from this page. And all of the meditations are there. Most of them are in a playlist for you. I haven't cleaned it up quite in the last couple of weeks to put all of them into the playlist, but that's where you'll find them. And there's several there that are specifically for empaths and others just because we don't need it every day. I take that back. For us empaths, I think we need it every day now, don't you? Every day. Every day. And because we're working a lot in our sleep, dream time, and during our wake times, helping to process and transmute those lower vibration and to take in those emotions, because that's our gift, and get them transmuted. So yes, and I can put the link, Pat, into the comments at the end of the show, okay? And that way it'd be easy enough for you guys to find it. And one of the other things I can do is I can put that link in the show description of this so that it's right there at the top. And all you have to do is look for the show description and then you'll have the link. Okay. The other thing is, Pat, is that we have every day, we have postings twice a day, actually, morning and night, asking, are you grounded? Did you ground today? And in those posts, Stephanie put links to different meditations that we've done. And I've been sharing those with the different groups and on my personal newsfeed. So there's a lot of them out there. Okay, but we'll get them to you, Pat. No worries. We'll get them out there to you. Okay, so here's the affirmation for secret temptation. The affirmation is, I continue to make positive choices. I free my emotional burden. Ooh, that's a good one, isn't it? I continue to make positive choices. I free my emotional burden. I like that one. It's about good choices and freeing my emotional burden. In other words, we're healing, right? So that was the first card. And for when I do these draws, the second card, or the subsequent cards, I should say, is all about supporting the message of the first so that we can get a better or deeper understanding of the first card. Okay, so hang on. Water. Second card. Oops, we've had this card before. Look who showed up. The Galactic Healer. The Galactic Healer. It says, move forward with an open mind. Move forward with an open mind. And then that first card, remember all of that yellow gold that was happening on the head? A lot of mental thoughts going on, right? Mental activity. Galactic Healer. Move forward with an open mind. And this card certainly does show movement, doesn't it? I'm going to bring it a little bit closer so you can see the waves, the energy waves going through, right? The spirals, sacred geometry. Light language. And look at the eyes. Again, very intense. Right? And this one looks perhaps more feminine or maybe more childlike. Galactic Healer, move forward with an open mind. It says, don't look back. We exist in a multiverse with multiple realities. Anything is possible if we set our mind accordingly. Reaching beyond limitations in what is currently visible to us enables humanity to continually evolve as a species. Sacred symbols, ancient architecture, and medicine have been inspired by astrological phenomena. You may find yourself searching for knowledge on ancient healing practices, energy work, or light-based information such as DNA coding, genetic downloads, sacred symbols, and self-healing techniques. I think this card is more than just a little timely, don't you? And that helped me to understand that first card just a little bit more in a more expanded way. Is that look how much humanity, us two-leggeds, are evolving at a very rapid pace. How many people have been very aware of the events in the past week, right? And how another shocking event that shook a lot of people at their root, literally, at their root chakra, right? How many of us are taking even a deeper look into those aspects of ourselves, right? That we may not on the surface think that we're racist, right? Whether it's knowingly or unknowingly. It's making us do a deeper dive into what are the belief systems I grew up with, right? The Galactic Healer really helps us to look at it from an expansive point of view. That this is all about our soul growth. It's all about how we perceive what we take in and what we believe or not believe. Right? And I think that when we do our own healing work, that minding our own vibration kind of stuff, is that when we remove those blocks, it helps us to bring in the information, that to discern information in many, many different ways, not just in the physical world, but in information that's coming in the unseen, which is very galactic. I mean, take a look at all the metaphors and the symbolism that's going on right now. right? When you've got a world leader standing on the steps of a church that is well known in history, where Abraham Lincoln went to pray when the Civil War was going on. The symbolism and the fact that the a very sacred to many, many people, a sacred item that was shown in a photo op that was upside down. It's like, the symbolism is just, there's just waves and waves of it. And as we take in the information of all kinds, we have to discern it. We have to be in the place to discern it, to take it in with some clarity. And I believe that the Galactic Healer card is all about understanding it not just in our present moment, but in the evolution, the grand awakening that we're going through, right? And how can we take that in for ourselves so that we are minding our own vibration? So that when we do that and we do our own healing work, our own shifting with it, that our light is even brighter. And how is that? Why is that? Is because we can hold that vibration of love for longer periods of time, and we start to shift the world around us. Because we're changing on the inside, our world changes on the outside. Does that make sense? Hey, Violet's here. Hi, Violet. Good to have you here. Cindy is saying, me, I've been thinking about my racism. Yeah, me too. Me too. Just because I'm Native American doesn't mean that we don't have our own racism. That we've been a receiver of racism, and we've been a sender of racism. I used to say that, rednecks come in all colors. I had it in my own family. My dad, oh my goodness, some of the things that he would say, and I swear he would say it just to see how quickly he could get me angry. you know, yeah, and he's walked on now. It's been many years, 2010, and yeah, it was right here, and because I grew up with it, it's in that belief system. And sorting through that. And I have to say, I'm the only one in my family that would not put up with stupid jokes about anybody, whether it was color of their skin or whether it was the color of their hair, whether it was their gender or their sexuality, whether they were more attracted to men or women, male or female. And the members in my family, some of them, not all of them, would be making these jokes. And it was like, that's not funny. You think that's funny? You think you should look in the mirror, kind of thing. And so, yeah. So it's helpful. We can look at it from so many different ways and levels and directions and perspectives. But I think the one that's most important is for the one that we look inside and sort it out for ourselves. Have I been racist? Have I unknowingly or knowingly been that way? And how do I shift that? How do I change that? Right? How do I model that? Hi, Amy. Let's see. Kimberly's first. She says, hey, glad to be over. Hey, Kimberly, it's good to see you. It's always good to have you in the house, Kimberly. So Amy is saying, I'm driving home. I had to pull over to comment here. Thank you. I think it's so important to start doing that work regarding race, etc. I believe that we all have some prejudice or racism, even unknowingly, is things we say or do that we may that we may always have done, don't even realize that it's not appropriate. Then finding my biological parents and family, I believe that is passed on genetically as a knowing. Ooh, that's pretty deep, Amy. That's very, very deep. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Because this is what this card reading is about today, I think. I really do. It's about taking, where do we place our energy and how do we place it? Right? And taking that deeper look in those secret temptations, right? And where do we need our own healing? Where do we need to do our own shifting? Good one. And she's also saying, I have my adopted family and biological family. I believe they both play a part in the deep subconscious thoughts. I do too. I do too. You know, there's reasons why we came into this world the way we did. And the family that we chose to be born into, right? And if you're adopted, the family that you were adopted by. All of that was, we orchestrated as a soul so that we could have a certain experience here, right? And part of that experience, I believe, and that's what the soul growth is about, is not to run and hide and duck from it, but to actually look at it. And what needs to be healed? What do we need to shift? Because remember, when we do our own healing, we're affecting our ancestors. We're also healing them. We're affecting our descendants. We're also healing them. So it's no small thing that we do when we focus on our own vibration and do our own healing. It's exponential. Don't you like that word? Exponential. Okay, that was the second card. We got to finish that one up, though. All right. And let's see. I forgot where I left. Where did I leave off? He says, you may already feel strongly connected to the times of ancient Egypt, Atlantis, and ancient Lemuria. Now is the time to reawaken your inner knowing and the ancient knowledge that already resides within you. Know that a deep awakening is occurring now, and you must acknowledge how far you have already come in this journey of life. Now we're talking about the soul, our soul journey, and how far our soul has come and where we find ourselves in this physical body at this physical time, right? So that many of us were at that fall of Lemuria, at the fall of Atlantis, at the fall in Egypt. And so we're back again. We chose to be here at this time so that we could choose perhaps differently, so that we could be maybe helpful in those choices to others. Yeah, so if you're doing your meditations, if you're minding your own vibration and doing your healing work, removing those obstacles that are impeding your love and your joy, then you're doing the work. Yeah. Good one, huh? Oh, and since this is galactic, we also get to take a look at those timelines, right? We live in a multiverse. There's multiple timelines in multiple realms. So call on your spiritual team. We all have so many beings helping us, and asking for your galactic healer on your spiritual team to help you so that you can select as a soul the optimal timeline for you to be on, right? In the optimal dimension for you to be in, whether that's the fourth, fifth, and most people listening to this from Star Nations, you're not in the third, that's for sure. That's for sure. Okay. Now, here's the affirmation. It says, I reawaken my soul's desire to learn and grow beyond existing limitations. Another good one. I reawaken my soul's desire to learn and grow beyond existing limitations. Isn't that good? That is so good. I tell you, how spirit is helping us to maybe experience or understand the events in this past week and the past since January, right? We're really being helped today with it. They're asking us to look within about those secret temptations, identify them, where you're going to place your energy. How do you want to heal? What do you want to heal? What do you want to release and let go, change? And then they're asking us to look at the bigger galactic picture of it, right? That our healing is no small thing. Doing our inner work is no small thing. It's huge. So many of us are sitting thinking, what can I do to help? What can I do? I feel so helpless in all of this. The help is to be able to hold that vibration of love. Hold that vibration of love. When you do your meditations and your prayers and you're asking for the Creator's healing light, when you're asking for the light to be shown, to illuminate the dark places, that's your light. You're illuminating the dark, right? So that we can all see it. It's no longer hidden. All right. Cindy is saying, wow, Amy, I've been wondering where it came from because it wasn't in my immediate family. Aha. And I got a ha-ha moment out of that, Cindy, huh? I like it when you talk about Atlantis, Lemuria, etc. It makes it more okay to knowing it. Yeah, it does. Because we've been there. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Violet says, I've been doing a lot of healing, especially lately. Well, good. That's excellent, Violet. That's good. Amy says, my biological family are all hardcore Catholic and true Republican supporting Republican regardless. Complete opposite of me. I find myself getting what I call fleeting thoughts that horrify me. I'm like, where did this thought come from? I stayed quiet a while ago that I stated a while ago that I wanted to work on healing the intergenerational trauma that I've been associated with. So working on it big time now. Aha. So you did identify what needs to be done, what you feel is important for you to heal, and asking your team for that help, because we don't go through this by ourselves. We're never alone. But we do have to ask. We do have to reach out to ask our spiritual team. And we also have to ask our community too, right? If you're having a really, really challenging situation and you want to share it with somebody, you've got our private groups that you can turn to, right? If you want to discuss it with somebody and you don't have anybody close, you can do that. And you also have the opportunity to come on the shows and do what Amy did, right? To share it. Because Amy, it takes courage to do that too, right? It takes courage. And so you can share, and 10 to 1, there's someone else that's in the chat that needed to hear it, that can identify with it, that could have their aha moment through it. Because we really do learn so much from each other, don't we? We certainly do. I love it. I love having these conversations too. All right, we have one more card. We got just a couple minutes left here. And this one we've had before too. The Guardian. It's a wolf. says visualize positive outcomes. Guard your energy. Guard your energy. Visualize positive outcomes. And look, the guy's got 4 feet on the ground and his tail's down too. He's really connected to Grandmother Earth. Using his voice, howling or barking. Right, I'm trying to get my camera to focus here. Come on, camera. I was trying to get to see the symbols on his body. All right. All right. I'm trying because the symbols on his body are really kind of cool. You can kind of see the energy swirls. There we go. Guard your energy. Visualize positive outcomes. Yeah. Gorgeous colors. And there's another wolf in the background. You see that? He's got a bright light about him. Communication. Wolves are so good at communicating. They communicate from distance to distance, from one pack to another. Right? Very good. The wolf. They're community based. They're very family oriented. The alpha, male and female, they take care of the young and the old. Yeah. Wolves. It's about guarding your energy. The author says that the guardians of the spirit realm are perceived differently across cultures and religions. Totems, totem spirits, angels, and other shamanic spirit helpers are assigned to everyone at birth and can be discovered through vision quests, meditations, and deep forms of prayer. In ancient times, the medicinal assistance of hallucinogenic plants were also used. Every individual has a guardian or guiding spirit that watches over them during their lifetime. Different stages of life can bring changes to those helpers depending on what lessons or guidance is needed to complete levels of soul growth for the soul's ascension. The wolf depicts challenges and personal boundaries, being able to trust others with your emotional vulnerability. Right now, you must guard your energy fiercely. Be mindful of how you feel energetically around others. Only you decide on a conscious or subconscious level if you wish to interact with any energies. To stay clear and grounded. All right, so all right. So our energies, right? As we're moving with this shifting, we're doing our healing work. We're looking at this from a larger galactic way. Is that we also need to do our protecting, right? When we're grounded, centered, and protected, we can take in all kinds of information. And it's not as shocking as sometimes, right? And we can really take in the deeper meaning with clarity. When we're not doing our protection, we can be influenced by lower vibrational energies in a way that stops us, slows us down from our healing work, from using our gifts, right? And especially right now, there is trying to find a good way to say this. Right in front of our eyes, there is events playing out. that are stark contrast, right? A lot of people are waking up right now. A lot. More so than what happened earlier this year. They're really being shaken up. We were shaken up that a threat to our health, right? Something that was very contagious, they say. That we were concerned about those that we love that have lower immunity. And so it really shook us at that core level. And then as time moved forward, we got another shakeup. We got shocked about our finances. Or sometimes there were employers that didn't make it through, and so they had to close their doors. What happened to the jobs, right? So we're shaken up on the physical, the financial set, which is our root chakra again, right? Our physical health, root chakra. Our financial health, our root chakra. Now with this one, our physical safety, right? Again, at the root chakra. And this one was big, huge. It's still going on, playing out right in front of our eyes. So the protection piece, I'm going to use the word imperative, vital. When we do that part of the meditation where we call in our spiritual team to create the circle of protection around us. Yep. And for those of you, bless your hearts, that are out there on the front lines physically doing the rallies and the marches and the, I'm not going to say protesting because that's not it. It's calling the light to be shown in certain areas, right? You're physically there. Most important for you to do your physical protection. And thank you for doing that, for using your voices for everyone. And those of us that are working from a distance in the ethers, in the energetic field, still need our protection. Okay? So as light workers, as energy workers, it's really important. Really, really important. Okay. So I'm going to take the 3 cards out and show them to you all at the same time. All right. So you know the drill. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, calling to your spiritual team to come to you to help you take in the information that is specifically for you. All right. In an optimal way, in an optimal amount. Okay. So here we go. There we go. Taking it in. You know, we had secret temptation, right? It's all that doing that healing work and really looking at the deeper aspects, those triggers before they even become triggers. What's going on? What needs to be healed, released, right? The galactic healer, working in multiple dimensions, looking at it from a higher perspective, because it's really all about being able to hold that frequency of love. And then it's about the protection, the protective field, to do the kinds of things that we need to do for our soul growth. We really need to be grounded, centered, and protected. However you do that, it's most important that you do it. It's not so much the vehicle that you ride in. Because we're in a change. We're in a massive shift. A shift in consciousness. And we can all help with it in our own way by paying attention to our own vibration. Right? Yeah, good one. It's all about our joy. That was the intention for the card draw. Letting go, healing those blocks that are impeding us, remembering how to hold love and how to be in joy, right? Yeah, let's see. I'm going to get caught up with you guys in the chat. Hey, Dinah's here. Hello, Dinah. She's saying, interesting you mentioned Atlantis and Lemuria. It came to my awareness I had a fear of being left behind again. I've been doing a soul retrieval meditation to collect the parts of myself. Yay! Dinah, that is so good. That is so good. I'm happy for you. Yay. It's a good one. Deep work. Deep work. Thanks for sharing that, Dinah. Kimberly saying, is that possibly light language? Yes, it is. Exactly what it is. Exactly. Cindy saying, I have been carrying a lot of fire inflammation in my body lately, sleeping a lot. Good. Be good to yourself. And that's okay. If you're taking naps and sleeping a little bit longer, that's all right. You're doing a lot of work probably in your sleep, Cindy. Yeah. Dreamtime work. And take care of that inflammation piece, right? Is letting go, releasing what's not yours. If you're transmuting energies, is anything that is not yours, is it's embedded, is to have your team help you to remove it gently, gracefully, let it go. Right? Yeah. And you also about that, when you do the meditation, it lasts about 12 hours. So you have to be really mindful, conscious of what you're taking in, right? What you're ingesting in so many ways. And so take a look, Cindy, about what you're taking in that would hold on to that inflammation, Yeah. That's interesting. Whoops, got that one. Pat says the middle card resonates big time, doesn't it though? I did a whole show on that card, I think 4 weeks ago on communications from home, because it came up the first time I drew it. I was in doing my own card draw, right? And that card came up, and Pat, it was like thunderstruck moment for me. That Galactic healer card. I'll see if I can find which date that was on and share that with you too, Pat. Okay. All right. So, anything that was said in our conversation today that resonated with you, my suggestion is that you embrace it and then watch, sense, feel, see how the energy this week is unfolding around you and where this information could be helpful, right? And if it didn't resonate with you, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just let it go. Or perhaps you're the messenger. Maybe there's a reason why you heard the pieces that you heard, and you're meant to share it with someone else, right? And that's okay. Don't worry about it. There's always next week. And let's see, there was two things I need to share with you before and I know I went over. Sorry, guys. Got a couple things happening tonight. No, I'm sorry. One thing happening tonight. I had to stop and think for a minute. It's Wednesday. Okay, so Polly Joe, she's on vacation. She really needed to take a break. And so she's resting and relaxing, posting pictures about putting flowers on her garage. And so anyway, her show, Soul Connections, we were going to do a replay of one of her past shows with that so that everybody could do the healing meditation, right? But we had something happen last night, and I did share this with Polly Joe. She, by the way, will be back next week for Soul Connections, and so we can all join her for the healing meditation live and also the card draw next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. But tonight, I'm going to kind of move into her time slot so that we can have communications from home live stream show. That is all about the reluctant elder. The reluctant elder, I know. And so my guest is Orchard Franklin, and we're going to talk about what is an elder and what causes us to be reluctant to step into that role, right? So it's going to be a good conversation, I think. And so you can join us. That's at 8 p.m. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. Okay. So watch for the notifications. We'll get those sent out just before showtime, too. Here's one more thing I need to show you. I'm doing something brand new. I got this from my team a few weeks ago that we're going to be doing the secret of remembering your joy. It's a 5-day challenge. I know. Yeah, it's free. And it's going to be done in the afternoons at 1 p.m. Central, 2 Eastern. We're starting on Monday, June 29th, and we'll go through Friday, July 3rd. And it'll be 4 days of 1 hour times that we're going to get together, and we're going to be talking about remembering, I should actually say, remembering joy. Right? We're going to be doing some activities together, doing things like mind mapping. We're going to be doing some things like a vision board and a couple of meditations besides. And then we're going to culminate that on Friday with a 2-hour class, mastermind class, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I mean, Central time, 2 Eastern. And that is going a little bit deeper with that. Okay. And it's free, you guys. It is free. And so we just ask that you register so we know who's going to be in the class. And it's going to be held in a Facebook group that we've had for a really long time, but we haven't really used much. And that is, it's a private group for the classes. Okay. And so we'll meet there. It's a 5-day. We're gonna do it. We're gonna jump into the middle of that joy stuff. So, okay. Hopefully you guys can join us. There is the link there, and I'll get that put in the comments too, so you guys can see that. Okay. Hang on. This is the longer link. I'm gonna get that shorter one made today. And this is to the secret of remembering your joy, the 5-day challenge. So you can just click there. We're gonna you have to send us your name and your email address, but that will get you into the challenge. Okay, we'll spend 5 days together. I'm actually looking forward to it. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully you can join me this evening for communications from home at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, all right. Bama Mina, and you know what that means, don't you? That means until we see each other again. Love you guys.